I apologize if my voice might be a little bit raspy. I was on 2 podcasts yesterday, and I was fighting with people, so. It was fun. It was fun. I'm getting invited to a lot of them, and Patrick called me the other day. He's like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, fighting with people. He says, why? I said, because they're all dumb. Anyway, she just laughed. It's all right, you do what you gotta do. It's all right. So anyway, okay. So, let's talk about, and I'm good to use you guys, if I ask a question for you guys, use ChatGPT to answer the question. Because the questions I'm gonna ask you, I already know them. But I want you to learn how to come up, like we live in an era, guys, of smartphones and stupid people. Right?
Yeah.
Like I don't understand how people don't know things. Like, bro, just chat GPT it real quick. It's not that hard. Have you ever heard of Google? Right? Like, just Google it. Like, it's not that. Matter of fact, when I was in the office with my mentor, Hector Lolo, before he moved to San Antonio, he had a sign in front of his desk. And the sign said, Google it. That's what the sign said. Google it. So if I would ask him a question, he would point to the sign. And then he would ask me, have you? Google it. I haven't. Get out of my house. All right. And then when all resources were exhausted, then I could come and ask him. But do you think that I typically had to come back and ask him? No. Because you're a lot more resourceful than you think you are, you're just not using the resources at hand.
Yes.
Make sense?
Yes.
You're a lot more resourceful. So he taught me, you would think by the way, some of you guys may have thought, man, that's a horrible upbringing. But you know what? It taught me a lot of what I know today, because I had to find out the answer for myself. Because leadership, when you want to become a leader, it's not just about you getting the answer, is you teaching people how to find the answer. Because the way I teach my team, I have offices all over the state. So right now, I oversee Palm Desert, now all of Santana, Fresno, Porterville, Bakersfield, Visalia, Modesto, Stockton. Part of there is Phoenix, half of the team over there is mine, and we have an office in Washington. And my number one job right now is to teach my guys how to become independent. Look, we're very blessed. We promoted 3 $250,000 earners. We're at about 22 6-figure earners and 2 SVPs. And the way you do that is by having them learn how to become resourceful on their own. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some things that you don't know, and that's fine. But for the most part, believe it or not, guys, 95% of the questions that you have in your mind, you can either call the carrier and find out the answer, or you can Google it. It's that simple. The other 5%, those are more leadership questions, where you simply don't know how to go about a certain situation. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's the questions that you should be asking. Outside of that, you should be figuring this out on your own. Because I teach my guys, what if on the way home today, I crash, right, and I die? And my guys, who are they going to call? Who are they going to figure out the answer from? Does that make sense? Yeah. So I teach my guys, and I train my guys, I need you to be effective as if I now you could not call me. I want you to act like I don't exist. How would I find the answer? That's how you train people to find the answer. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, okay, let's go through. By the way, how many raise your hand if you guys here? If you guys don't know, if you don't know, like sincerely, if you don't know who I am, never seen you before, raise your hand. You guys? Okay, awesome. If you guys have never heard of me or, so let me tell you guys real quick my story. So we're originally from Mexico, from Michoacán, Michoacán in the room. There's just all the pure bloods in here. The rest of you guys, well, I'm sorry. No, I'm just kidding. But, so we're originally from Michoacán. I'm from a town called Naranjo, Michoacán, Mexico. So it's a municipio de Aguilar, right outside of Apatzingán.
Pariente del Chal,
And I grew up in East Bakersfield. I grew up in the hood till I was about 13 years old. I'm sorry. We moved to the hood when I was 13. My parents got divorced when I was 6. And I had a really rough time there. I grew up, I was raised by cowboys. My cousins are cowboys. My uncles are cowboys. My cousins are state champions or chavos or state champions in California. I was raised in that environment. I was raised horseback riding And watching my cousins compete a las charreadas since I was a little boy, that's the way I was raised. Kind of what you guys have here in Pico Rivera, the charreadas, that's the way I compete here in Pico Rivera. But it's always nature versus nurture. So because I grew up in the hood, whenever you're around a bunch of gang members, what do you eventually want to become, especially as a male? You want to be in that world. So what ended up happening was that at 13, 14 years old, I got very attracted to that life. But I was not raised that way. And so now, if I take off my suit, which I'm not going to do because then Chris is excited, if I were to take off my suit, 80% of my body's tattooed, okay? And about half of them are gang tattoos. Just to give you a little bit of an idea of who you're dealing with. I dropped out of high school my junior year. I started gangbanging when I was 13 years old in East Bakersfield. I got in trouble. I'm 37 now. I'm be 40 here soon, the way I look at it. But it's been many years for me. Obviously I'm away from that life, but didn't mean that I didn't get in trouble when I was 19 or 20 years old. I think I was 20 years old. I went to college, but it's not the one that you get to leave whenever you want. You know, you go to it's a different college. It's a California state. You know? So you can't just go in for a semester and get out whenever you're tired of it. You gotta stay for the whole semester. So I was there from the age of 19 or 20. I got out when I was 21 when I graduated. Years old. So that's what you're dealing with. So anything like don't ever like when you hear me talk right now, don't be overly impressed. I don't have a crazy degree. I just everything I'm about to teach you guys, I learned this as a profession. In the transition of 10 years, I've learned this. Being around the right leadership, Patrick, and so on and so forth, and our great leaders. Does that make sense? So again, the reason I share what I just shared with you guys is because I don't want you to think like as I'm training you, like, oh, I can't ever do that. Yeah, you can. If I can do it, I jumped out of high school. You know, I'm an immigrant, like I was born in America. However, they took me back to Mexico 30 days after I was born. I was considered an anchor baby. So what they did is my parents just had me here so I can have my papers, and we went right back to Mexico. I lived in Mexico. I went to school in Mexico, so I'm familiar with both cultures. That's why I share that with you. So though I was born here, I consider myself to be an immigrant because my first language was Spanish, and my first years of school was in Mexico. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I was just born here, and I'm just as much as an immigrant as anybody else, okay? Yeah. So that's the way I look at things. That way I can have a little bit more of a background and whatnot. So let's go through it. Speaking about this and immigration and whatnot, let's go back into the foundation of America. When did the Pilgrims get here to America, roughly? Does anybody know? It's okay to chat GPT. I'm totally okay with it. Roughly when the three boats, what boats were they? Pinta?
La Niña, la Pinta y la Santa María.
La Niña, la Pinta y la Santa María.
1620.
Yeah, 1620. That's exactly what it was. Three boats.
Y venimos de puro
So it's
criminal.
1620, okay? Give or take, just for the sake of an example, guys, we're going to use the 1600s. So the Pilgrims land here in America in the 1600s. Did they show up to a developed country?
No.
Did they show up to a country with infrastructure?
No.
Did they show up with a country with a political stability?
No.
They showed up to virgin grounds. Okay, sure there was natives here, but even then, like, it's so funny. People say, oh, you know, this used to be a native land, right? Or it belonged to the Indians. Well, so did Mexico belong to the Aztecs. So what? Like, New Zealand belonged to the islanders. Like, what, okay, and what? Like, so what do you think would happen here if we wouldn't have came here? You think there would be teepees in America and Canada would be fully developed and Mexico fully developed and America with teepees and Indians and bows and arrows and shit? No, somebody was going to dominate this regardless. Yeah. That's the way of the world. People get dominated. Yeah. So let's give it back to the Indians. What are they doing? Riding around in horses and living in teepees? Like, come on, let's be real. Okay? So eventually somebody was going to, I just don't like that self-victim mentality. I don't like it. I don't buy into it. Oh, this used to be. It don't matter what it used to be. Who cares what it used to be? It's not. So get over it. It is what it is today. Does that make sense? Yeah. I like being AC. If you want to go back to a teepee, move to Alaska. If you want to live like an Indian then. Does that make sense? Yeah. Like, you got to be real about how things are and what they are, or else you can get caught up in your emotions and you're not going to make a difference in the world. Okay? All right. By the way, I'm going to go off topic because you guys have it here in LA. You guys realize this used to be Mexico, right?
Yes.
For 20 years, it was Spain before that.
Yes.
This was only Mexico for 20 years. It was Spain for 100 years before that. A lot of people don't know that. Oh, this used to be. Yeah, bro, but it was Spain before that, and it was native before that. So used to be don't mean nothing. It all got dominated. By the way, you think these Indians were living in peace here? No, the Shumash were killing the Yokuts, and the Pumas were killing the Navajos, and so these fools were all killing each other. Sioux Indians, all these fools were smoking each other. And they had a gang war here. It's not like we showed up to peaceful Indians that just eat acorns and shit. They don't work like that. Okay? But these fools were violent. Okay? So, don't make it. But a lot of people are out, whenever you see the stolen land, little stupid banners, ask them, how long was this Mexico for? This was Spain and America much longer than it was ever Mexico. It was only Mexico for 20 to 25 years. And then there was the Hidalgo Treaty, which then they sold. By the way, did you guys know there was a plan? A lot of people don't know this because they don't read history, they only know what the liberal teacher teaches them. Did you guys know that part of the deal of selling California, Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado to America was for the Americans not to invade Mexico City?
Yes.
A lot of people don't know that. So what Mexico did said, listen, we'll sell you these lands for $10, $15 million, but stop your advancement. If America really wanted to, they had the open door to go right into Mexico City. And a lot of people don't know that. Because they had already taken over Texas and the Alamo. That was the last barrier before going into Mexico. They could have kept going and nobody was going to stop them. So that was called the treaty, the Hidalgo Treaty. So America said, no problem, we'll stop, but we want these states. They said, deal, just stop going into Mexico. Mexico would have lost the Mexican-American War by a mile. And all of it, all the way down to Guatemala, would have been America. United States of America. But a lot of people don't know that. Okay, just giving you a little bit of a history lesson. A lot of people don't know that. We literally asked them, please stop advancing and we'll give up these lands to you for a little bit of money. They said, no problem. So I'm okay with the way it worked out. Oh, stolen land. No. I'm glad they didn't go to Mexico City. They stopped right in Chihuahua and they let it be. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so let's get back to our topic. 1600. So 1600, then let's talk about this. 1600, they're trying to build a country, right? So they're trying to figure everything out. Like, you go through the pilgrims and whatnot. So between the 1600 and roughly the 1750s, they're strictly only on, it starts with an S. What mode are they on? What mode are they on? Just got here.
On survival mode.
Survival mode. That's it.
On survival mode because they didn't have nothing.
They didn't have nothing.
They hadn't even established.
Nothing.
They had guns.
They're on survival mode. Survival.
I think
They had
They had to survive. There was nothing
They
here.
had weapons.
There was nothing here. They were in exploration mode and they were on survival mode. Let's see how far this land goes. So for 150 years, give or take, they're on survival mode. Okay? Then the 1750s, give or take, that we start, it's not even infrastructure yet. Right around this time, 1750 to the 1850s, then you're somewhat going to establishment mode. Where they're like building houses and like, they're kind of getting a little bit of an establishment, a little bit of a government's coming around. But they're not fully there yet. But they're still in establishment mode. There's not a full-blown country yet. Okay? So then, here's where the English came as well, and there was a civil war and all this. There's a lot of things going on here. There's a lot. So they can't establish the country yet. There's 13 colonies and so on and so forth, right? A lot of crap is going on here. But right around the 1850s, somewhere around there, then comes what mode? It starts with an I. It comes the industrial mode. Okay? So for like 1850 to roughly about, just to be fair, somewhere around 1910, it's the Industrial Revolution. Okay? Industrial. Okay? And then, from 1910, we have a government established, we have houses, we have industry like the railroad, Henry Ford, all this stuff. Okay? Then we go from 1910, then even to modern day. Now here there are, and it also starts with an I. And the next letter is an N, just to give it to you.
Innovation.
Innovation,
During the
Mode.
technology more.
innovation, okay? Innovation and also investing. Because there's something to invest in now. Now there's houses, real estate. From 1910 to 2025, technology has revolutionized, but the way of doing things is pretty much the same. Okay, because we're already established. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, this is a timeline, roughly, give or take, within a few decades, because we didn't live there. We can only go off of what we read. So you can have a little bit of a, well, it was technically 1830, whatever. Okay, that's according to you, because you weren't there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm going off of what I read and all the years of studying that I did. But if you have, if I'm off by 5 years according to your calculations, then whatever, okay? But, does that make sense? Like, if you want to get technical, then cool, then you train them. Does that make sense? But this is roughly kind of giving you an idea of how it works. For the most part, okay? Now, let's go into, for the most part, with minorities. Okay, so for example, Hispanic, whether you're Salvadoreño, Guatemalteco, Hondureño, Mexicano, Colombiano, all of us, okay? Do you guys know when the heaviest influx of Hispanics started coming to America?
During the gold rush, no?
Not necessarily. Okay, watch this. Raise your hand if you're first generation immigrant here, like your parents were born in a very different country, you were born in a different country. First generation. Where your parents from? Are you first generation here or they're second generation?
I was born here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, first generation, that's first generation. You're the kid of an immigrant, of immigrants. Okay? For the majority of the party, like, okay, so who's not, or if you're an immigrant as well. If you're an immigrant or a kid of an immigrant, raise your hand. Like if you were born in another country, came here, or your parents were born in a different country and they came here, okay? The majority of the room, okay? So, we didn't get here 100 years ago, right? So, watch this. Betty, ¿en qué año llegó usted aquí a Estados Unidos?
1988.
In 1988. Most Hispanics got here between the 1970s and 1980s. Hence why we're first generation Mexican. You understand?
Yes.
I'm a first generation Mexican. My dad got here in the 1980, my mom got here in 1975. From the same, and yeah, there's going to be an exception of one of you here. Well, my family got here in 1930. You're the exception. You're not the rule. Okay? How many third generation Mexicans do you really meet?
There's people that were already.
Let's be real. How many third generation Mexicans do you meet? How many second generation Mexicans do you really meet? Let's keep it real. The no sabos. For the most part, and by the way, I've been guys to 38 states, and I've met Mexicans all over the country.
There's a lot of people that were here already and mixed with the Spaniards, and they consider themselves Americans because they've been here for a long time.
But it's a very small group.
Yeah,
It's not a lot of them. That's
but
what I'm
not
saying.
anymore because they're already assimilated
I'm with
to
you.
the white.
But you still meet them. Like if you meet them, they'll tell you, oh, we've been here for
Yeah.
200 years. It's not often. We can't make the exception the rule. Does that make sense? The rule is the rule. And if somebody's the exception, congratulations, you're the exception. But for the most part, when you meet a brown person, here in California, by the way, just so you know, I've been to Texas a million times. Tejanos are Tejanos.
Yeah.
You understand? Like how many Californianos have you met? Do I say they don't exist?
No.
But how often do you meet them?
No.
I've never met when I lived here 37 years. I've never met them. We're from California. And they're black. I've never met them. I'm not saying they don't exist. I've never met them.
I know.
Does that make sense? And if you have you, phenomenal. It's the exception though, it's not the rule. Does that make sense? Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, because it's a big population here in California. It's like the biggest one in the country, so
Right, but it's the exception though.
because of the population number.
I totally understand, but I'm trying to make a point. It's the
Yeah,
exception.
yeah.
The majority of people are gonna be first generation immigrants.
Yeah.
Californianos don't make a majority part of California, they just don't, right?
Yes.
You kind of, why do you think they're culture? If you take us all out, who's gonna do the labor force? The Californians, I don't care. Well, who's the majority of the workforce in LA? First generation of Californianos. First generation Mexicans. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or not Mexicans, just any other race. Do you guys understand? We're not talking about exceptions, we're talking about the rule. The rule is the majority of people that got here between the 1970s and the 1980s. With the exception of Californianos, which are this small. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But for the sake of an example. So, 1970s and 1980s. I was doing this on a podcast yesterday, and some idiot jumped on the comment and he says, well, my family got here in the 1930s. I know, I just said it. The rule, not the exception. I just said that. I just said that. You know, he's I said, I get it. You are this many, not this many. Does that make sense?
Did he have blue
He didn't
hair?
have blue hair, but I'm sure, I'm sure he probably did, but I didn't see him. So anyway, it is making sense.
Yes.
So, 1970s, 1980s, okay? Now, watch this. Our parents, or if you came here in 1980s, 70s, right? 70s and 80s, or your parents, they came here on what mode? Give me what mode they got here in.
Survival.
They got here survival mode. Survival mode is how they got here, just like my mom did and my dad did. And like the majority of people did. They're here on survival mode. So our parents have taught us establishment mode, industry mode, innovation, investment mode, or what mode have they taught us? They've only given you survival mode, because that's all they know. So the majority of us in this room have adopted a survival mentality, not an investment mentality. You understand?
Yes.
So the majority of us here, we're on survival. Survival mode. And you don't know that as a byproduct, you're on survival mode because that's the way mom and dad were, for the most part. You understand?
Yes.
So you have to understand what mode you're in so that you can graduate modes. Hence why, when you take out, this is not for everybody, there's obviously going to be an exception, but let's talk about I mean the rule of the exception. When you talk to white people about an IUL or an annuity, what typical response do you get?
They already have one.
Yeah, I have one.
Yeah.
My dad had one. My grandma had one. I've had one since I was a kid. All my kids have one. You understand? And when you talk, I do insurance. Oh yeah, what do you? I'm with that. Oh yeah, let me say national. Yeah, I know national. Because they're already in what mode? They're in investment mode. Their generations already went through all this. They're not in survival mode. You understand?
Yes.
And so you have to understand where you are. And you have to have an objective truth to where you are. Does that make sense?
Yes.
What I'm about to tell you guys right now, especially being in LA, I'm taking a big risk
Do it.
about what I'm about to say next.
Say it.
And you ain't gonna like it. I promise you, half the room ain't gonna like it. And guess what? I don't care. Okay? You think that when my dad was in Michoacan, in 1980, he says, let me go help build America. Brother, sis, this country's gonna be just fine without us.
Yes.
This country was built before we got here.
Yeah.
Okay? My parents came here for the American dream. They said, oh, it looks like California needs help. These dudes don't go figure it out. They built the whole country before we got here. They don't need us. They done built the whole country before we got here. And then we'll figure it out without us. Hard truth to hear, right? Some of you guys don't like hearing that. Get out of your emotions. It's the truth. We came here chasing the American dream, not the American construction. Okay? How come we didn't come in the 1600s? How come our great-great-great-great-grandparents didn't join the Pilgrims? No, déjalo. Okay? I don't, it's nothing to do with my church. I don't like to hear that. What are they gonna do if this country was fine before we got here? It'll be fine after us. You understand?
Yeah.
Like, it's too much of a victim mindset. I don't like it. Come and do your thing. Stop complaining about, you worry about you, take care of your family. Let everybody else worry about what they got going on. Learn the skill, learn the language, learn the culture, adapt, love the country, and the country will be good to you. I'm a high school dropout, grew up in the hood, divorced parents, and I became a millionaire in America. Why? Because I'm not worried about other bullshit. I'm worried about, hey, I gotta take care of my family, I gotta do my thing. And that's what I gotta worry about. We were not here. Shut up. Dude, it's 2025. They're gonna figure it out without you. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like all these other countries, like for example, I was fighting with one of my friends, they're from the Middle East. He says, America, if it wasn't for America, everybody's gonna live because you guys destroyed, our countries. How long has your country been around? 1,000 years. We've been around 200. You couldn't figure it out. You got an 800-year head start. You want to blame us? The people from Caracas and Venezuela are coming to America because America destroyed Venezuela. Somebody please look up when Venezuela was created. Dude, you've had 17,000 years. No. We came to help, but we didn't come to build nothing. You understand? And why do I share that with you? Because you have to have an objective reality. By the way, you should get offended when they say, well, if they kick us all out, who's going to pick the grapes? Who's going to cook at the restaurants? You should be offended. Because that's the way they see it, as only the help. How come they don't talk about the businesses that are going to shut down? Because they don't see you as a business owner. They see you as a help. Like, did you see this babosa on The View? What's her name? Esta, with the purple hair? She used to be beautiful. She, Demi Moore? Well, if you deport everybody, then who's going to clean your restroom? Donald Trump. And then everybody's like, oh, no, that's not what I meant. That's exactly what you meant. That's exactly what you meant. That's the way you view us, as a people that clean your restroom. That's why I'm not with the victim bullshit mindset. That's why I went to go build a business that produces millions of dollars a year. So whenever they, hey, what have you contributed? Oh, just $10 million last year. That's about it. And this year we're on track for 15 million. And I got, last year I did 500 people to get their insurance license where they're giving back to the economy. That's just nothing. That's it. Well, by the way, it's nothing compared to others. Guys, our jobs are replaceable. You don't think they're eventually? Have you guys seen the Uber cars?
Yes. The Waymos.
The Waymos?
Okay, they put AI at McDonald's already.
No.
Yeah.
What are they gonna do when? Dude, they thought about what they're gonna do without us
Big Mac.
15 years ago. 15 years ago, they thought about the word. What are we gonna do? Come on, man. Don't underestimate humanity. Don't underestimate brilliant minds. You think that they thought before the moon landing that we were going to be able to send people to outer space? Can you imagine having a conversation? What's your invest in this company you're going to build? Invest in this company you're going to build? Because I know you're not going to. They're going to replace. Because I know you're not going to. They're going to replace. I want to do that. They're going to have people building these. They want to do that. They're going to have people building these buildings. They're going to have people cleaning the restrooms. They're going to have people that get their ass to work and stop crying about what this used to. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, every race needs to go. Every race needs to go. I was having a conversation with a very good friend of mine, Chase. Super, we're like this. We're like this. My brother. And we were talking about this. These black people build America. What did you do? Pick cotton? Where's the buildings that you guys built in the 1800s? Where are they at? How many times you guys have walked into a building that's been around since the 1800s? What are you talking about, bro? What do you mean you built? You didn't build anything, just no more than I built anything either. So we came here, so nobody built anything. This shit was already built, we just showed up to it. Nobody built anything. Nobody did. That's why we came here. I understand, I said, you didn't have a choice, but I did. But to say that, oh, no, nobody's owed anything. You know what's so funny? New generation Hispanics and immigrants, or the immigrants, think they're owed something. I feel the other way around. Thank you for creating a government, a company, an industrial revolution that allowed me to come to a country that's great. I'm thankful versus, you owe me. I don't feel like the country owes me anything. I'm thankful in the country. I feel like I owe the country. I have to.
There's a lot left out, that's why.
Of course. I could do this all day long. Of course.
But we get it.
No, there's, of course. If we go into details, I'll keep you guys here till midnight. You can't. I can because I love it. But I'm giving you a crash course. This is not about politics. It's about loans.
Sounds like it.
I'm okay with it if it is. But you understand? Because at the end of the day, look, here's the three things that, here we go, ready? Okay. What three things can we not talk about in the Hispanic and Black communities? There's three topics. Religion,
Money.
politics,
Money.
and money. Those are the only three topics most white house talk about. Religion, politics, and money. They talk about things that matter. We don't. And that's why we're being left behind. If you're not ready to have the tough conversations with people, you're going to be left behind. Every single time I'm around my white friends, it's always the same thing. Politics, religion, and money. What else rules your life? Why do you want to talk about La Usurpadora? I don't care who won Copa America. I don't care.
That's true.
I don't care. I don't care who the 49ers drafted. What does it do for me? I don't care about Otai. What the hell's his name? Dude, you can't believe he got a $600 million contract? I don't give a shit. Sorry, I don't. Hispanics and blacks are so caught up in the lives of other people. It's wild. Give me the stats of Chicharito. Oh, estos goles y ese. Tell me about your 401k. No sé, güey. Talk to a brother, Jerome, who got drafted to the Baltimore Ravens. This guy, he went to college and this are his stats. Tell me about your IUL. You understand?
Yes.
If you're not willing to talk about hard topics, you're not going to get anywhere in the world, and you're not helping the world. Even if you're going to be judged because of it. I don't care to be judged. Judge me. I don't care. Because these little conversations are being had on my kitchen table. And the reality is, no matter what way you look at it, when you see these things right here, and you understand where you are, you can identify it and your mind changes. By the way, when we were with Patrick, what do you think we talked about?
Business.
Politics, religion, and money. Because they all directly affect us. Why are we? I had one of my cousins. We're sitting there talking. With my older primo Luis. He's my oldest cousin. We're sitting right in my other cousin. Talk about politics. How does that better improve your life? On a local level. By the way, forget about the president. On a local level, how does that affect your life? Let's talk about your council member, or your mayor, or your senator. How does it affect them?
Gas.
Everything. The schools, redlining. You see who's running for city council? No, I don't even know. It's this guy. You know what he believes in? This, and this. Damn, I didn't know that. You gotta get out there and vote. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Hey, you know who's running for mayor? No, what do they believe? This, and this. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, let's get out there and vote. I'm not talking, when I say politics, I'm not talking about like governors or even presidents, because that, on a micro level that matters, but on a macro level that matters, on a micro level doesn't matter. But let's talk about who the next senator is, who the council member is. The next judge is going to be elected because that's all on the ballot. So when we talk about religion, why is religion important? Whenever you're dealing with churches, let me tell you, can I share with you why I think it's important?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I go to a church and I'm a conservative Christian. That's what I am, and I'm not going to apologize for that. But that's who I am. I am a Christian, I'm a conservative Christian. And I will never apologize for that. And I'm not okay for any church that does anything that goes against the Bible. Just not okay with it. It's that simple. I don't care what you feel about it. The Bible's black and white. It's simple. Genesis to Revelation, it's very clear. Old Testament, New Testament. It's very clear. Your emotions are irrelevant. I feel, I don't give a damn what you feel. I feel that you're an idiot. Okay? Ready? What church are you going? I'm going over here. Tell me what they teach. How many times you open the Bible? What chapter do you preach on? How many times está pasando la canastita? I see it's more like business than it's church. I went to this church. I was like, cool, man. The pastor was cool. We talked about this. We talked about this. We talked about that. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Then we talked about marriage and this, and he was teaching even a little bit of financial literacy. Oh, I like that. What church was that again? Oh, X, Y, and Z. You know what I want to go visit. That's why it's important to talk about religion. How about money? Hey, a little bit of a sensitive question about ask, ready? How much money you guys save? I got like 2,000-3,000 saved. Bro, how much is your mortgage or your rent? 2,500. What's gonna happen if 1 month you miss work? You're gonna fall behind. Save some money. Let's go make some money. What can we do? What do you have in your house right now that you don't need so we can sell it so we can put some more money in your bank account as an emergency fund? This is the way the conversations we're supposed to be having with our people. Like this. And you don't have to. And sometimes your family's gonna shut you off, but who gives a damn? You're gonna find somebody in your family's like, hey, that makes sense. You talk about things that matter, and then you get together with one of your brothers or two of your brothers, hey, there's this house for sale. 120,000 is a fixer upper. What's the down payment? 30,000. He puts it, I puts it, he puts it, just go buy this, fix it up, and sell it, and flip it. Why are we talking about that? Why are we talking about stupid things? That compadre, la comadre thing. You understand what I'm telling you? Right now, we're hopefully this year, God willing, we have 2 cabins in Mexico, and we're building another one. We're about $650,000 deep into our joint. I went over there 2 weeks ago. I was over there last week. So we'll check it, and see everything that was going on. And so the reason I share that with you is because when I'm there, a guy's building a cabin right below me. So he comes up, and he's like, hey, I was looking at the infrastructure, the beams.
Vigas.
Las vigas. So the company he's going through is running out of vigas, and it's starting to rain, so it's ruining some of his construction. ¿Eh, dónde comprarse las vigas? Porque ocupo las vigas para tapar los 2 cuartos que tengo. Mira, aquí le va el número, boom, here's a number. You know, they have vigas right now. They're a little bit expensive, but they got them. That paying a little bit more will cost you not having to ruin that room that you're building over there because the water's getting inside, it's oxidizing it, it's doing all kinds of stuff. Oh man, thank you. Hey, by the way, and he did something I really like. Who did that for you? The conversation strikes. Yeah. And you're having real we're not talking about the freaking, people are so proud that Mexico beat, I don't even know who they beat. America. So proud. What victory is that for you? Nothing. There's no victory in that for you. You really want to go spend all that time to watch to do that when you could have been learning a trade? Come on, go own the team. Forget about the damn team. You understand? Yeah. That's the conversations you're having with people. And by the way, just know that only top 1% of America or people, period, are willing to have those conversations.
Come on.
But you guys understand what I'm talking to you guys about? Yes. It's important to keep these things in mind as you're going. And be ready for this. Ready? Be ready for 80% of the time, 90% of the time, for people not to be interested in talking about it. Yes. Or telling you that's all you care about. Yes. Mm-hmm. But I tell you, I went to the barber shop. Ricardo, you don't have hair. I didn't know. I still like the treatment. So I go to the barber shop because my hair still grows. Guys, just because somebody's bald doesn't mean their hair doesn't grow. I don't know how that works. Okay? So different than your chin or your legs. Just because you're bald right now don't mean you're going to be bald in 2 days. My head's the same way as your legs. Okay? In every other part of your body. And maybe bald. So, I went over your head, huh? Anyway, okay. So, this thing grows hair. And I have a hard time, you know, see how it looks pretty safe right now? I can't do that on my own. I have a hard time with it. My barber uses, and he shaves me, he does all that stuff. I do the work. So I went there yesterday. One of my boys pulls up that I've known for 25 years. He's next to me. He's next to me, and at the chair next to me. And he said, "I just want to tell you that I'm really proud of you." He's always been one of those like supportive, like de lejecitos, but never talk bad. When I started the company and I wanted a field training, he took the field training. Never like full blown, like I'm gonna join, or he's a client and he's my friend. And you have those people that are like, "Hey bro, do that guys." Like one of those guys. Or one of your friends, like, "Hey, do your thing, no? I don't judge you." But he's one of those. So he sits down next to me and we start talking. I keep in mind, guys, I've been with PHP now for 9 years. And he says, "I'm proud of you, man. I'm watching you on this and this and this." And he says, "How do you feel?" I said, "I feel good." He's not, "That's what I don't think I asked the question clearly." He says, "Watching how all our friends get up, how do you feel?" In order for me to answer this question for you guys, I need to explain it. When you grow up in the hood, everybody thinks, in the hood, not everybody, but for the majority of the part, there's only one way of making money, okay? If you grow up in the hood, what's that one way? It's illegally, okay? Well, I wasn't raised any different. So, I'm going to be 37, I've been with PhD since I was 28. So the first years of my 20s, I lived that way. I made a lot of money, lived in a nice house, drove nice cars, did all that stuff. I did all that stuff I was not supposed to be doing. But you can imagine, I was doing a lot of things, I hung around with guys that were doing things I'm not supposed to. It's funny how God works. Right when I joined PHP, I leave everything behind. The years following, the next 5 years, they put that year, 2016, the DEA and the FBI built offices in Bakersfield. Okay? That year they built them. After that, guys, every single year for the next 5 years, all my friends were being busted. All of them. The first year, some of them are just getting out now. Chavez just got out. Rico and Fernando just got out. So when I started that year, 3 of my friends got busted. They gave them 8-year, 9-year sentences to all of them. They just got out. Like literally just, as a matter of fact, Chavez will be out in October. They're just getting out. Here I am, 9 years later, and watching the majority of my friends either went to Mexico because they're running from the law, or they're being chased right now, or they're in prison right now. So when he's asking me this question, he says, despite what's happened to all of our friends, how do you feel? And you know, nobody had asked me that at that moment. And I couldn't answer him immediately. But you know what overtook my body? A whole lot of gratitude. A lot of gratitude. I'm like, I said, man. He's like, "Diamond." I said, "Damn, bro, you got me thinking that." Like, I hadn't thought about that. Why do I share that with you? If I get invited to come here a year from now to train this office again,
It's off, my ringer is off, I don't know.
Es off. No oímos.
I'm just kidding. I'm just giving you a hard time. I love her, by the way, too. I have is it leopard print?
Yes.
I have a leopard tattoo right here. I love leopard. Very interesting animal.
I'm safe.
I love it. It makes sense. It goes with the two. So anyway, let's talk about it. That's something to do with. So anyway, the reason I share that with you is because I'm going to come back a year from now. Hopefully, they invite me to have the honor of coming back. God gives me life. 70% of you guys won't be here anymore. Let's just look at it. You're just not. You're going to come and I don't see results, so you'll quit. Or a family member or a friend will convince you to quit. You have beautiful women in here, you'll get a boyfriend and he's going to convince you to quit. Right? Like this is like, look, I've been doing this for a long time. I have 9 offices that I run. I already know this language. I go to my own office, just 3 months later, there's a whole different crowd of people. Okay? Like in my own office. Right? What I share is with you. Kind of in closing with you guys right now in the next few minutes. I need you to stop gauging your growth by how much money you make and start gauging your growth by your personal growth as a person. You understand what I'm telling you? Let me explain. How many of you guys were like very shy when you first started with us? Like super shy. Okay. And now you're a little bit more open.
Yeah.
That's growth. That's growth. How many of you guys never wore slacks before coming here before? Like consecutively. Now you wear slacks and some of you guys even a jacket. That's growth.
Yeah.
But you live in a society where gauges only growth is measured by money. And because it's only measured by money, you think you're falling behind because you're not making the money you want to make. You're going to get there. It took our country how many years? Something years to get to where it's at. Relax. Measure your growth. How many of you guys here are couples? You okay, awesome. Do you notice even your treatment with your couples, with your spouse is different?
Yes.
Like you're more patient, more understanding, more willing to listen.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Even when they have the same attitude,
Yes.
that you're just a little bit more reserved.
Yes.
That's real. If you leave us, that's gonna stop. And you're gonna go right back to what you used to be. And that's the part that I tell you to pay attention to. Don't worry about all this other stuff. It's gonna come. The money's gonna come, the house, the cars, the traveling, that's gonna come. That's secondary to your personal growth. The number one thing you need to focus on is how do I feel as a person and how is my growth going? And when you can focus on that, every deal looks a little bit better and a little bit better. And before you know it, then you become the person that can now start receiving the income because you became that person. And what I mean by that with this is this. Certain versions of you can only make X amount of money. I don't know where I left the eraser. Is the eraser here?
Ready?
Certain versions of you. John? Let me explain. Version number one of you in entrepreneurship, not in a job, entrepreneurship may only be worth $100 to $500 a month. Because that's the only amount of value you can give the market. In entrepreneurship, you get paid according to the value you can provide. I'll give you an example. Ready for this? How much is this bottle you think is worth? For somebody that's thirsty, what is it worth?
Everything.
What is it?
Everything.
Yeah. $3.
No, it was like 100.
I should drink that. Now what is it worth?
That's all. 5 cents. 5 cents.
It went from being worth everything when you're thirsty to being worth nothing.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes.
People will only pay the value you provide in entrepreneurship. If you're not worth $100,000 a year yet, you're
No. God.
Just turn it off. It's off.
Es up. No, yo como que lo oí. Como que ya no le llega bien el agua al tinaco.
You understand? It's okay, bring it back. You understand? You are only getting paid what you bring to the market. It's that simple. Some of you guys want to make a whole lot of money right now. You're not worth that in the market yet. You're not worth that. Wait. And then eventually, what ends up happening? Okay. Ready? Then, version number 2, you know a little bit more. You're a little bit well versed. You don't have a little bit more skill set. The next version of you may be worth, who knows, $4,000 a month. Then the next version of you is worth $10K a month. The next version of you, $50K a month. The next version of you, $100K a month. That's the way this thing works. But some of you guys are here wanting to get here way too fast. But this version of you, this version doesn't require a whole lot of skill and a whole lot of talent. But this one requires a little bit more. And this one requires a little bit more. And this one requires a little bit more, but you're developing to become that person. And if you stop coming, you can never get there. You can never get there. You guys understand what I'm telling you?
Yeah.
What day of the month is it today? Well,
There.
that's a lot of messages that you got. Okay. What is it today?
July 12th.
July 12th. It's a bad month, don't judge me. Okay? John, how much PHP paid me this month so far? I'll probably make $100,000 this month, give or take. By the way, it's a bad month for me, no? I'm not proud, trust me, okay? Why do I share that with you? It took me 9 years to be worth $38,000 in 12 days. You know what I'm saying? That's, you understand what I'm saying? That's the part that I want you to understand. That is 9 years in the making. By the way, I'm not having my best month by no means. By no means am I having my best month. And I'm actually happy just to show you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Just to show you. This is the way things work. So like, oh my God, you go to big event, oh man, they're making $1 million, $2 million a year. Dude, it took them years to get there.
Yeah.
But if you quit, you'll never get there. And that's the part that I want you to pay attention to. Let's be honest. It's Saturday morning. It's a beautiful day in LA. Great day to protest. I'm not that's the only reason I'm here. In Texas, I'm getting shot. Okay? For even insinuating that. Could you have done anything else today?
Yes.
Could you have phone rang anywhere else today? 3 times. Could you have been done anything else?
Yes.
Yes. In some way, shape, or form, you woke up and said it could be on. That's a win. That's how you measure growth. Watch this. Let's walk through it. John, I'm going to walk through it with you. Okay? Did your alarm go off this morning, or did you wake up on your own? On your own. Okay, awesome. When you woke up in the morning, you got to make a choice to get out of bed, right? Because you knew you were wanting to come to the UN. So you made one good choice of doing what? Immediately as you woke up. Waking up. Well, you woke up, but what's a good choice you made? Getting out of bed. Okay? Then, I don't know if you showered the night before, the night before the morning of type of guy.
The night before, it depends.
Okay, it depends. I'm the same way, by the way. It depends. I like to wake up in the morning, so I do in the morning, but sometimes at night, that's okay, either way. But let's say this, right? Then you need to start to get ready, right? Did you start to get ready?
Yes.
You're not naked, so you you make 2 good choices. Then, once you're ready, you have to make a choice to get in your vehicle, right?
Yeah.
Was that another good choice? Okay, that's 3 good choices. Then, once you're in your vehicle, at any point you could have U-turn. Like, I'm good, I'm not gonna come today. You decided to get to your destination, which is here, right? Was that another good choice? Yes. Then once you're here, you could have still decided not to get in. Come here, you could have, I haven't seen you yet. Then you could have made a choice. Then you had to make a choice to come inside the building, right? Okay, did you make another good choice?
Yeah.
At any point in time today, to go left or in the street. You could have, but you made a choice to do what? To stay. Before 12 o'clock in the afternoon, all of you guys here already made 6 good choices. How come you don't measure that? Measure this, little by little, little by little, little by little. Measure your good choices a day. Things are not going the way I want them to go, but at least I'm getting out of bed. I'm not a PC yet, I'm not where I want to be, but at least I'm going to go to B1. I'm a B1, okay, I don't have the points that I want, but I'm going to save out the whole B1. This is the way you measure success. You measure it one step at a time. You don't measure it by comparing yourself of somebody that's 10 steps ahead of you. You measure it versus your old version of you. Okay? More than likely, 10 years ago, I would tell you know what I would be doing right now? I was a partier, but not so much. I've always been very disciplined. I love going to the gym. That's my thing. That's my stress. So 10 years ago, right now, if I wasn't here, I'd probably be in prison, honestly. More than likely be in prison. Okay? Just be very, I'm not even trying to be funny about that. More than likely be in prison. However, if I was not, for whatever reason, right now I more than likely drank last night. For more than likely drank. Then I woke up this morning, I would gone to the gym, got to the barber shop, hung out the afternoon, and probably went to the club tonight. That would be my schedule. If I was, even at this age, like I'm 39, you're 37, yeah. I like to have a good time. I have the energy to have a good time. That's probably what I would be doing, more than likely. Why do I share that with you? Because you gotta learn how to measure the good things that you do, and stop worrying about where you're not, and start focusing on where you are. Living in the future creates anxiety. Living in the past creates depression. Living in the now creates happiness. And you need to remember that. There's always a next. I'm very blessed. I'm at $38,000 for the month. Elon Musk makes that in 1 minute. You understand?
Yeah.
There's always a better version. I'm a big giver. In order for me to give more, I need to make more. Because I'm a big giver. I love to give. You know why? I don't care about money. It'll come and go. Because I know how to make money. So if it goes to something good, I don't care. I'll get it back. And God always makes sure I get it back to God. Does that make sense what I'm telling you guys?
Yes.
So the reason I share that with you is because you gotta measure step by step. And by the way, for you couples in the room, if you guys are both here or you're trying to do something here, and your spouse doesn't do something maybe the right way, the phone call doesn't say something right in the phone call, didn't say something right in the interview, hey, you freaking tried. I'm so proud of you. Just give that praise, because God damn it, they're trying. They're trying. Hey, babe, man, you freaking, how do you close? It doesn't matter. You freaking trying. And that's all that matters. We're going to get better. Don't worry. The world is already against you. And when I say against you, like when you want to change your dreams, you know what I mean. They're against that. If you were a regular Joe Blow, they wouldn't care. So you want to start chasing your dreams? Oh, ya te crees. Right? No. ¿Para qué quieres tanto dinero? Sé feliz por lo que tienes. All this other bullshit you get. You already have the world against you. Don't be against each other here. Somebody walks in, I'm so happy you're here today. Create that culture with us in Montebello office. I'm so happy you're here. Good job for coming. Man, I was looking forward to seeing you. I'm so happy you're here. Do it. Because this needs to be a spiritual sanctuary for people. So when they come in here, they feel good. You have great leadership. You have great MDs. You have a beautiful office. What more do you want? You start to practice this gratitude, it changes your whole perspective about how life works. Does it make sense what I'm telling you?
Yes.
And the biggest compliment anybody can tell you is, you've changed. And you know what compliment you need to start being, you know what people tell you, what you need to start taking as a compliment? Ya te crees, sí me creen, porque Dios me hizo para hacer mucho. Y lo voy a hacer. Sí me creen, porque le creo a Dios, no te creo a ti. That's simple. Sí me creo. Sí. Porque Él dice que me crea. Es lo importante. Lo que tú crees no me importa. Ni me va ni me viene. Lo que so, si tú tienes un sueño grande es porque Dios te lo puso. I don't know about you guys. My God, He doesn't make mistakes. I don't know about your God. My God don't make mistakes. So if He makes me dream big, He put that there for me.
Yes.
That's it. I can't let another man come and take that from me. That's not His job. His job, my job is to fulfill what God wants me to live. Hence why we name TCO, our organization, the chosen ones. Not the biggest ones, not the strongest ones, not the baddest ones, not the fastest ones, the chosen ones. Out of your group, whether you were with friends or family, God chose you. There was you and 5 of your little best friends, and your compas. He chose you. It was you and your primas. You're all tight. God chose you. And you need to know that. And you need to embrace that. So when things don't seem like they're going the right way or you're a little bit confused, you need to know because that's your calling. Your calling's never clear at the beginning. It's a little bit what happened with Jonah if you read the Bible, on Jonas. What happened? He was swallowed by a whale. Because God said, you're going to be my prophet. He's like, no, I'm not. He ran, got swallowed by a whale. What happened with Moses? Did Moses free God's people immediately? No, he ran for how many years? 7 years he was gone. I'm out. Then God said, hey, I chose you. I chose you. Let's go. Go back. And he stuttered. Moses, don't know, a lot of people don't know, Moses stuttered. he was stuttering. He's like, how am I going to talk to the Pharaoh? I stuttered. But God chose him. You're like, hey man, I feel so alone. Who sold Joseph? His 12 brothers sold him. I feel so alone. None of my family supports me. Joseph's 12 brothers sold him. Then the sacrifice feels a little heavy. Remind me the name, I know the name, but remind me the name of he was going to sacrifice his own son on the mountain? Was it? Abraham. God tells Abraham, grab your son, take him to the mountain. And what happens? He says, tie him up. Can you imagine like your dad's tying you up and what's going on here? And right, what the Bible says that right when Abraham had the knife to the throat of his son, God told him, don't hurt your son. God wanted to see how faithful and loyal he was going to be. And sometimes you get tested that hard. You get tested that hard. Then you're like, whoa. Man. And you think you're not going to get through it. But sometimes God puts that knife right here. Just to see. Just to see if you are a chosen one. If you're the one that he was betting you were going to be. You know, a question for, if I ever get to meet God, you know what I want to ask God? I have one question for God, only one. If I ever get a chance to talk to him, did you know that Judas was going to betray Jesus? See, you can say yes. You can say that. I can say that. I don't know. You don't know. I'm genuinely curious. Did you know that Judas was going to betray Jesus? Or did you just let it happen whatever was going to happen? Because the Bible says that we have the freedom of what? The freedom of will. That we can do whatever we want. Right? So I don't believe in destiny. Like something bad happens, that was destiny. No, I don't believe in that. Because the Bible doesn't back that up. It's the freedom of will. So I'm genuinely curious to know, did God know that Judas was going to betray Jesus? Did you know?
Yes.
That's a question that I have. Because it would clear my mind of so many questions. You know why? I'll come to you right now. You know why I'm curious? Because I'm wondering to myself that if, when I was at a breaking point, did you know that I wasn't going to break? Or did you know that I was? That's what I would want to know. I would want to know that. Did you know? When I was at that moment when we didn't have nothing, we had $19 in our account, we were dead broke. And I knew and I wanted to make money. The only way I knew how to make money, and make money fast. Did you know that I was going to be faithful to this and to you? Did you know? I'm very curious about that. Hence why I want to find out if he knew that Judas knew. Yes, sir.
Solo quería preguntarle
Dígame.
la pregunta en español. ¿Cuál sería? Porque no entendí bien.
No se preocupen, mi pregunta es, ¿sabía Dios que Judas iba a traicionar a Jesús? Esa curiosidad la tengo.
Sí.
Uno puede decir que sí, pero uno no es Dios, ¿verdad? ¿Por qué? Porque eso a mí me hiciera preguntar si Dios sabía que yo iba a ser fiel. Porque esa fuera la respuesta para mí, sin preguntar directamente sobre mí. ¿Sí me explico? Tú sabías que Judas iba a ser infiel, porque si sabías eso, entonces tú sabías que yo te iba a ser fiel. O que yo iba a pelear contra todas las cosas que iban a venir contra mí para poder ser su servidor tuyo. Yo tengo esa curiosidad con Dios. Te lo digo, es que Dios sabe todo. Y yo entiendo esa parte, pero también tenemos el libre albedrío. Y la Biblia lo dice. Entonces, ¿él sabía o no sabía? Una curiosidad que yo tengo de preguntar.
Bueno, pues Dios tal vez sí, pero Jesús no sabemos si es Dios.
No sabemos, pero no, es que no sabemos si es Dios, ¿verdad? Hay que tener, o sea, de que pudiera saber. Pero de que no quiso saber, no sé, es la curiosidad que yo tengo. ¿Sí me entiendes? Es simplemente la curiosidad, no le tengo la respuesta, ni pretendo tenerla. Pero la curiosidad yo sí la tengo. Porque luego la pregunta fuera, si sabías, ¿por qué lo pusiste en su camino? Si me explico, ahora ya, eso ya me abriera a otra pregunta. Sí, a otra y a otra, o sea, es muy larga, es jalarle un hilo. Entonces, por eso me tengo la pregunta, porque si sabías por qué lo... Y luego, si sabías, y sabías que lo iban a torturar, ¿por qué dejaste que eso pasara? Yo tengo muchas preguntas de esa índole. Imagínate ver a tu hijo torturado. Si me explico, la digo, es que no sabemos. No sabemos. Podemos pensar que sabemos, que... No, espérate, no se sabe. Quizás sí supo, pero quizás no. Y lo dejó para ver hasta dónde iba a ser fiel, pero no lo sabe. ¿Sí me explico? Era la pregunta que yo tengo. Does that make sense what I'm telling you?
Yes.
So, I'm gonna leave you guys with one last analogy, okay? And I'm done. Montebello, you've heard me say this before. So it's gonna be for all the new people. Ready?
Yes.
And if you know the answer, you've heard me say this before, don't answer, okay? What animal is considered the king of the jungle? If you've heard me say this before, don't participate. Okay? Lion. Is the lion the biggest animal in the jungle?
No.
What's the biggest? Is the lion the fastest animal in the jungle?
No.
What's the fastest?
Cheetah.
Tarzán.
Is the lion the loudest animal in the jungle?
No.
What's the loudest? Makes a lot of noise. Almost like a hyena, they almost make as much noise as a hyena.
Tarzán.
The monkey.
Tarzán.
Is the lion the tallest animal in the jungle?
No.
What's the tallest?
Giraffe.
Is the lion the strongest animal in the jungle?
No.
What's the strongest?
Gorilla.
Tiger.
The rhino.
The rhino. So I have one question for you. If the lion is not the biggest, it's not the fastest, it's not the loudest, it's not the tallest, and it's not the strongest, then why is it the king of the jungle?
La presencia, su fuerte.
No.
Because he's not afraid. Because he's not afraid.
Because when it wakes up, it only knows one thing. I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Tengo hambre.
Siempre tiene.
All it knows. As soon as it wakes up, it's almost like the lion doesn't know. It's not the biggest, it's not the fastest, it's not the tallest, it's not the strongest, it's not the loudest. It's almost like it knows that. Like it doesn't know that it's not. You understand?
Yes.
Like it doesn't know its deficiencies. Like nobody's told the lion, bro, you're not the fastest. You're not the biggest. You're not the loudest. You're definitely not the strongest. Like nobody's had that conversation with the lion before. Who's had conversations with you about what you're not? Stop letting people tell you that you're not something. Because when this guy wakes up, by the way, do you guys know they sleep 20 hours a day? They sleep 20 hours a day. Those 4 hours are awake though. Woo-hoo, the devil's loose. The lion is a chosen one. You are a chosen one. And stop letting other people make you doubt your power. Thank you so much.